It's your host, Brittany Lachee, and we are back with a very special episode of Box Power Sound. We have Kevin in the building.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for joining us
today.
Thank you
very much for having me.
It's going to be a very special episode. It's a little bit different than we usually do. So we have the mentalist in the building. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So as a mentalist, my job is to get inside people's heads. So essentially, I'm either putting a thought in someone's head or taking one out. So I've learned how people think over time, and I try to go back and see all those secrets that you have. I already know them. So we're on that level now, just so you know.
Good. So we're close.
Done. It's all
We're
over.
besties.
Yes, done.
Okay, you have all my secrets. Good to know. I'll keep that in mind.
Bank pins, all that. Just be careful what you think from this moment forward.
Okay. All right. I'm broke, so that's fine if you have my bank pin. So I want to get to know you, since you know everything about me.
Absolutely.
Where are you from?
What do you mean? Like my background?
Everything.
Ethnicity? Yeah, I'm Lebanese, Persian, and Romanian.
Oh, wow.
Crazy mix. Yes, crazy mix. My dad is Lebanese, Persian. My mom's Romanian. I'm from Vaughan, Woodbridge is where I grew up most of my life. And yeah.
So you grew up with some good food.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Very good food.
Food
is one of my favorite things.
That is an incredible mix, and we talk about it on the show all the time. That's one of the most exciting things, is everybody has such a diverse background.
It's true.
Being here, I myself, I'm American born, so my friends from Toronto, I'm like, you guys are so ethnically diverse. It's a beautiful thing to see. So I do want to get a little bit more into your childhood. Did you think this is what you would be doing?
This is what I always wanted to do. I just didn't know how to go about doing it. You know what I mean?
Didn't know how to go about it as a mentalist?
Yeah, as a kid, I was always around magic from my dad. My dad's not a magician. I'm just going to get that out there now. But he was a big fan of magic always. So I was always seeing David Blaine on TV as a kid. And music was a big part of my background as well.
Nice.
So I was always around music, all kinds of music. My family loves music, and even one of my mom's old friends was a guitar player, and that's how I got interested in the whole music thing as well for myself. But yeah, for magic, it always started with seeing David Blaine on TV, and then my dad, at the age of 6, showed me my first trick. Changed everything.
Interesting. So this has been a part of your life for a very long time. That's very cool, and it has that family value for you.
Absolutely.
That's really beautiful. And as you're talking, I'm like, I didn't really think of this as performance art, but it is.
It is. Yes, it's entirely
absolutely
performance art. Because if you're boring and you don't have a good presentation, people are walking out the door.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Before I met you here today, I wondered to myself, like, is that, would it be offensive to call you a magician, or are you really a mentalist? But it's not.
That's a great question. Great question. Essentially, mentalism is a brand of magic. It's a form of magic. It's all under the same cloth, same kind of idea.
The same cloak?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
That's good. You're a comedian as well. I didn't even know. But
sorry. That was so corny.
No, that's okay. That's good. You're trying. I like it. It's good. Good jokes. It's good stuff. But yeah, it's all under the same umbrella. When you think mentalism, you think magic for a reason, right? But the difference is when you see magic, you think tricks. You think, oh, I'm going to trick you. It's like, here's the sleight of hand. Mentalism is absent from that. It's not about tricking you. At the end of the day, yes, obviously you're doing something to evoke a reaction, but I think when you go about approaching mentalism in that sense, it loses its true value, because mentalism is such a personal thing. So to me, it's not about tricking you, but it's about creating a connection with you, creating an experience for you that you'll never forget. So to an extent, yes, it is technically under the umbrella. I don't go by magician, I go by mentalist and psychological illusionist, because everything's around the mind.
I like that.
I feel like if you say magic and magician to it, it cheapens its value. Like in that term, because magic's all about trickery and that kind of thing. As I said, mentalism is about you. Without you, without the people, there is no career for me, because what are you going to do? Who are you going to read the minds of? Yourself? You know what I'm saying?
That's very true.
Realistically speaking, you need someone to do that. Magic, you can be in front of a camera, do some sleight of hand. It doesn't have that same
connection.
Exactly, because it's entirely on the connection. Now, I'm not saying magic doesn't connect with people, because obviously it does, in a good performance will always do that, because it's all about the presentation, it's all about the story. But mentalism's entirely on that.
Yes, that's good to know, and thank you for that clarification, because I didn't even understand why I felt that way. But I was like, is it rude to call you a magician?
No.
But that's exactly where that's coming from, because you are genuinely making a connection. You're not tricking the people that you're talking to.
Exactly.
That's very interesting.
And to an extent too, there's a lot in there about psychology. There's a lot of studying that goes on around psychology, body language, like so much stuff. So much stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I find that fascinating because in a lot of the work that we do in the entertainment space and marketing falls heavily on psychology as well. And people don't really think about how that works. But
true.
in marketing, psychology is everything.
Even in sales, every day, like when you look at it, people are like, oh, sales, sales, sales. But at the end of the day, we're technically in sales every day because
you're selling yourself.
Exactly. If people don't resonate with you on a level that they feel they can connect with you, bye. That's essentially what it is at the end of the day. So you have to be able to, be you. And obviously not be fake. People resonate with what's real.
Yes.
And if you try to put on an act and be fake and be something, people resonate with that. People see that. And sorry, they don't resonate with the fake. They resonate with the real and the true.
And they can tell.
Yeah,
They can definitely tell.
100%.
So you mentioned, it was David Blaine, and we had Chris Angel. I used to love Chris Angel.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
all
Those
up in
two
it.
changed my life watching them as a kid.
Yeah. So let me know a little bit about your inspirations. I know you talked about your father, some of these other magicians. Let me know about what really inspired you and who you looked up to on your journey.
Absolutely. So aside from my dad showing me that trick that inspired me, it was seeing David Blaine on TV going on the street and doing magic for people on the street, and Chris Angel as well. So it's funny that you say that. As a kid, those two have always been those staples for me because if you really look at it in terms of the art in itself, they made magic cool.
Yes.
They went from the whole ta-da, fring, the rainbows and the balloons, right? Like, and the flowers. Like, I'm not. And again, I say this because magicians are going to see this and say that I'm talking down onto it. I'm not.
Of course.
I'm just saying.
They evolved the art.
Exactly. The connotation around magic is that top hat and the suit, ladies and gentlemen. Like that's the connotation. They took that whole ideology of magic and they just threw it away, and now it became so much more cooler, right? And Chris Angel had that rock star side to it, and I resonated with that because I love music, and as I said, music has always been a part of my life. I listen to all kinds of music, rap, R&B, jazz, rock, metal, so on and so forth. I love all music. I actually have a degree in music as well. Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
I know. I didn't want to tell you before. I wanted this to be a surprise.
Pen that
there.
for
Yes,
later.
yes,
Interesting.
yes, yes. Which we can get back to that. I don't want to go off on tangents.
You're getting more and more interesting by the second. This is interesting to see how all of your interests and passions have come together to create Kevin.
Yes, exactly.
That's very interesting. So please do go on. Let me know more about your inspirations when you were younger.
Yeah, so as I said, seeing Chris Angel, seeing the presentation, right? David Blaine had his own style of presentation, and I was really inspired by what he was doing and how he was doing and all that stuff. Chris Angel is very inspired by that presentation because at the end of the day, looking back and seeing that era, people look back now and say that was a cheesy show, but really it's just the times. Yeah. What was cool in 2005? I
was going to say the 2000s in general were very cheesy. Yes.
Versus now it's different. You can't do that. And that's I don't even know how that's going to look after, but really you can't do that, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to resonate with that because that's an act. But at the end of the day, he was a huge inspiration. He was doing stuff that, in my opinion, looking back now, is still ahead of its time. The thinking, the team behind that show was phenomenal. I
would agree, and so many people were captivated. People who never had an interest in magic a day in their life were captivated by what they were able to do, which is what makes a performer.
Absolutely. And that's exactly goes back to what you said, a performer and performance arts. Because let's be honest, in terms of a social media standpoint, in terms of a career standpoint, now in my industry, our career is performing. It is doing shows. That's how people in my career make a living. Either you're consulting for performers or you are the performer that is performing, whether it's on social media. But realistically speaking, we make our living from private events. I do mainly corporate. That's where I'm always in the corporate scene performing. But realistically speaking, in that sense, in social media, if I came out and I'm like, think of a number. Okay, just say it. It's 5, yeah. Who's going to watch that?
They'd be like, can you leave?
Yeah, it's like it comes off creepy. Like, you're a Leo? Like that's not cool, right? You need that presentation there. You need that character. You need to be you and let people know who you are in your art because that is what it is. It is a performance art because without that presentation, without that story, without that performance, you got nothing.
You're a dud.
Exactly.
Yeah, and nobody wants to listen.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. That's fascinating. His name is escaping me, and he's like the GOAT of all magicians. Old school. Why can't I remember his name?
Of magicians?
Like
David Copperfield?
Come on, yeah, thank you. How could I not remember that name? But anyways.
Okay, so I really liked watching him.
Yes.
But he wasn't a huge inspiration on me.
Yes.
I loved watching stuff, and don't get me wrong, I watched a lot of David Copperfield as a kid, but I just felt more resonated towards Chris Angel and David
And the
Blaine.
modern guys.
Yes, back then when I was younger. Then fast forward, the people that I resonate towards now in the industry is a guy by the name of Darren Brown from the UK. Just his presentation, his personality, he's great. I love that style.
Interesting. So I have been saying all my life, I think I'm psychic. So I genuinely think I'm psychic. That's not even a punchline.
100%?
So, no.
Okay. You just feel it.
I get messages sometimes.
Okay.
So if you were looking at somebody who is trying to explore mentalism, would you call it that? How would you go about starting that journey?
Well, it really comes down to understanding people, right? To an extent, like there's a lot behind the scenes of practice and trial and error. Like as a kid, starting with the magic and doing the card tricks, at the end of the day, throughout my youth, I was always attracted to the mind reading part. I was always attracted to the mentalism part. That was the part that stood out for me. So what I used to do as a kid, because I didn't know how to learn or do any of that, I would come up with my own ways to do stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so what I would do is I would think, okay, I want to be able to do this, so how am I going to do it? And the way it started was with a deck of cards. I would give someone a deck. I would say, take one card out, put it in your pocket, across the room, and I try to guess it. For years, I was wrong. I was always wrong. And then over time, I started to learn and find my way about going about it. And then I started seeing a lot on the psychology aspect. Like, there's certain words we say that can evoke thoughts. Obvious. We're influenced day to day from marketing and all that stuff. But sincerely speaking, in this art, knowing how people think and reading body language can help a lot in understanding them, right? Certain things that you might not know is if someone's standing and they're covered like this, they are nervous, right? They are nervous, and in body language, it's called the fig leaf position, and that's something that's found in many books on body language and psychology. Interesting.
So you clearly have to be very well-rounded when it comes to the knowledge before you even get into this stuff. There's so many moving parts. There's so many
intricacies there. Yes, exactly. And to an extent too, there is also feelings. You do get feelings. There are times where I feel something and I just go with it.
And you can't help that. I'm a huge believer in energy as well. So I feel like there's also certain frequencies that people can pick up on and maybe tap into. And that's just fascinating.
Absolutely.
If you don't mind me asking, what is your zodiac sign?
Guess. You're psychic. Let's go.
I don't know much about the signs right now. I know my sign and every ex that's wronged me. So that's about it.
This is how we're going to see the interview go quick. If my sign is in line with the exes that wronged you.
I know. A Libra? Are you a Libra?
Close. Like in the same month? At the end of the month?
Okay, I don't care. I'm proud of that. But what is your sign?
Scorpio, end of October.
Interesting. I'm getting better. I've taken your tips and applied them. Thank you.
You're a fast learner. I like it.
A Scorpio. Let me see if that colors the rest of this interview.
Am I going to get a reading at the end of this?
No, it's gonna be off. It's gonna be off. I'm not that.
We'll try. We'll go with it.
I'm not that good. We are going to be joined in just a moment by Box Power's very own content creator, Unique Chance. Come on down.
Hello.
Hello.
So you probably don't know what's about to happen, but on 3, I'm gonna put you to sleep. Okay, 3, 2. I'm joking. I'm kidding. I have to do that to let your guard down, because when you laugh, that sigh of relief, he's just kidding. Let me see how you think. Now I want to do something in brand. Okay.
Okay.
How many seconds would you give me to read someone's mind? Right now, if I had to read her mind, how many seconds would you give me? This is for later.
Me.
Hers. Yes. What's your name?
Unique.
Great to meet you. How many seconds to read Unique's mind?
7.
7?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do.
7 seconds.
We're going to bring this out, and this is going to make sense in a moment, okay?
Okay.
Stopwatch. 7 seconds in a moment. Now, before I try to read your mind, I want to see if you can read mine. Like I said, we're going to do this a bit in brand. Music is in brand. Music means so much to you in this show, yes?
Yes.
Go to Google for me. Oh, you have an iPhone. Very nice.
Oh, you're not supposed to see.
I don't know.
No, it's okay, Vicey. That's fine. Can I look a song up? Now, if you're gonna learn or read the lyrics to a song, what would you use? What's the largest website used, industry standard?
Industry standard. I'm still using azlyrics.com. So,
No.
and then
No,
there's
it's not it.
Spotify.
Genius.
Genius.
Yes,
Genius.
Genius.
Yeah. So go to genius.com for me.
So I'm like,
It's okay,
I'm on
Bryce. See,
AZ
that's fine.
lyrics.
Okay.
Genius.com. Now I'm gonna look up a song, and you're gonna try to read my mind. If you're right, fantastic, amazing. If you're wrong, don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, it doesn't matter if you're wrong.
No
It
pressure.
just tells me how you think. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Now you can't see, because if you see, that's not mind anymore. That's just reading. Let's
Good
try this.
old reading.
Okay, I looked up a song. I'm gonna give you a hint, and
Okay.
you're gonna try to guess it. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hold it just like this. I'll do it like this so you can't see. The hint is, it's by Drake.
I felt it. Okay.
There's a lot of Drake songs. What can it be?
21.
Can you do something for me?
21.
Do you want to stick with that?
I'm gonna go with Rich Flex today.
Same album. It's Middle of the Ocean. Okay. Okay. It's okay.
Okay.
We'll do. You can see how hard, even with hints. Even with hints. So this is what we'll do. See where you can search lyrics in Genius.
Yep.
I want you to look up a song that resonates with you on an emotional level.
Okay.
One that, if I were to guess, you'd be blown away. That nobody knows.
Okay.
You can go as far back as you want. It's up to you.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
So the way Genius works, let's say it's Drake, Drake One Dance, right? Obviously that's probably not yours. All these pop up. You click that, it brings up the lyrics. Sound good?
Okay.
All right.
Good. Make sure I can't see,
Okay.
and I'm gonna turn.
I'm like, I feel like, can I see? I don't know. Should I?
I want to show you.
Okay.
And tell me when I can turn. I want this to be completely fair.
Am I supposed to click the song?
Yes,
Yes.
and then tell me once the lyrics pop up.
Okay. I'm like, put my volume. Okay.
That's a good one.
Let me put my volume down. Make sure it doesn't. Play
It doesn't start playing.
Okay. The
The lyrics
are
popped
in.
up?
Yep.
Yeah.
I want you to look through all the lyrics. Now you see a bunch of different words there. They can mean something to you, they can't. But what I want you to do is find one word within those lyrics that actually means something to you and resonates with you. And once you have it, I want you to highlight it. So on an iPhone, when you hold the lyrics or hold a word, it's gonna highlight it. The whole point of that is that you could show the camera later. If you start lying to me, we need the proof. I'm just kidding. I'm not calling you a liar. People have lied to me in the past.
Okay, no problem. I will not lie. I'm just trying to find. All right. So it's highlighted.
Good. Stare at that. Now you see that highlight right there, just vivid, correct?
Yes.
Stare at that highlight. See it vivid. Can I trust you? Like if I were to turn, we're going to lock and put away, but can I trust you that if I were right, you won't lie?
You could trust.
Lock the phone, put it away. We don't need it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll probably scream anyways, so it's fine.
Good. Can I turn?
Yes.
Yes.
So, how many seconds did you say you'd give me to read her mind?
7.
7.
Yes.
So if I can read her mind in 7 seconds, that would blow you away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any amount of
This
time,
is what we're
really,
gonna
but
do.
7.
We're going to start it right there. Start. 7 seconds. 7 seconds. Let's see. We'll do 4.
Okay.
Okay.
If I was able to do it in 4, what would you say? In 4 seconds.
I would leave. I would
Yeah?
leave the room. I'd be terrified.
I want to record my reaction.
Can I be honest with you? Do you know what that did? The timing? Did nothing. It's just for show. It's just building it up. The whole point. Like you see them on the edge of their seat 7
You
seconds. And then you felt like, oh my God, he did it in 4. Oh my God. No, it's just for show. As I said, when you laugh, let your guard down. I said that right when you sat down.
Show the camera?
After. Yeah, I don't want anything to be seen now that I'm turned. I want this to be good. Think of the word for me.
Okay.
Now, sincerely speaking, if I can look at you and tell you the word, would that blow you away?
Yes.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Does that word in any way tell me the song that you're thinking of?
Yes.
It tells you the song.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you prefer I reveal first, the song or the word? Giving you options here.
Right? That's how I'm like, let's get
I
technical.
want to go with the. I mean.
I don't know.
If you could guess the song, that's crazy.
So song first, then
Yeah,
the word. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
do me a favor. Look at me right here. Imagine nothing else exists except right here, okay?
Okay.
Deep breath. And start playing the song in your head now. Start playing the song in your head now, okay? Okay, I hear the beat in your head. This is good. but I don't think I know this song. So instead, just say it to me. Say, Kevin, the song I'm thinking of is, so if it was Middle of the Ocean Drake, in your head, Middle of the Ocean Drake. Say the song to me, and the artist last. In your head now, go. Free Mind Thames.
Fuck.
Now we're gonna show the camera in a moment, but you had a word. Yes?
Yes.
Stick your hand out for me. Flip it upside down like this. Imagine this is a keyboard and you're gonna start typing it in your mind. Just imagine typing it. Start typing that word now. Okay, good. You changed. See, what happened was she typed the first letter and then she changed to the middle letter. You didn't go. You went and you hit a G for some reason. I don't know why. You hit a G for some reason in your mind. Do it again. Do it again. Hand here. In your mind, start typing the word now. Good. Okay, you know what? I think this connection here is better. Look at me, look at me. Say the word in your head now. Say, Kevin, I'm thinking of. Would this honestly blow you away? Mm-hmm. Fighting.
Yeah, gotta go. Honestly?
No. No.
Honestly?
Show the camera, show the camera.
Okay.
Show the camera.
This is actually ridiculous. Oh, wait, oh my God. No, Highlight actually went away, but I'm not a liar.
We just clicked it by accident, but oh my goodness.
That's actually crazy.
Get away from it.
I don't want to continue.
It's in, wait, let me show you. It's in the search bar, everything.
That's crazy.
The song.
I vouch for it. I chose it. I told her which word to choose. Because I've been
so
fighting for my
crazy.
life.
Now do me a favor here. Come here. So you see the other lyrics
Sorry,
here too,
baby.
yes?
Yes.
Let's think about this for a minute. Genuinely speaking, look at all the other words you could. Morning, wandering, mind, wouldn't, burning. You went with fighting.
Fighting. Oh, we scrolled.
I'm lightheaded. Like, that's crazy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
I'm
much.
a believer.
Thank you so much.
That was crazy. I bet we all can agree. I'm still shaking a little bit.
Be careful what you think. I told you. I'm joking.
What am I thinking right now? Okay, no. Let's get back.
Wow. I don't know if the people want to hear that one.
No, we're keeping. This is a PG-13 show.
Yes.
A family friendly, even.
Yes.
So
But
when
I
it
know,
comes to the
I know.
performance and like keeping people captivated, that is one side of performing, as we all know, and keeping people's attention. But you, the performer, how do you take care of yourself? How do you protect your own energy?
Just staying positive, right? It's so easy to get negative. It's so easy to hear the negativity around you. People saying, "Oh, you're not going to do it. It's hard. Keep a job, blah, blah, blah." I didn't listen to any of that stuff. I literally did the complete opposite of all the people that were negative with me. And to be completely honest with you, to an extent, you kind of have to be delusional when you're in this art form and you're in any career where you leave. You have to literally, even from the moment you quit and you make that job, quit your job to go forward with doing your passion. There has to be a sense of that in there, because that's what's going to keep you going. The bigger you imagine it, the more you imagine being that person, doing everything you can to be the person that you want to be, or person you want to be like. Although I feel obviously you have to be original and be yourself.
Yes.
But the farther you will go. Now, before I quit my job and I went full time into this, so many people were like, "Oh, don't quit your job, blah, 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 do this, do that." I don't listen to that stuff.
It's honestly a new world as well.
Yeah, and you have to stay positive and surround yourself with like-minded people, surround yourself with positive people, because I'm a big believer in like attracts like, meaning you become like your environment. If you're around, "Oh, life's so hard, oh man, oh yeah," like, you're going to become that, right? You're going to be that. It's like, I get it. Life is hard for everyone, and it is, but to an extent, too, you have to think above that. Always know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Stuff gets hard, day in and day out, obviously, but you can't quit. And I think being around people like my team, Maz, Sisto, Rob, Johnny Hills, Havana Heights, these people that I'm around all have the same goal in mind. We want to get to where we have to go, and don't let the noise block out the happiness, because it's noise at the end of the day.
That's very true. It's very true. And when you're gifted in a way that other people may not understand, you can't expect them to understand your vision. And it's the same. We're all creatives.
Absolutely.
We're all just, we have a dream, we have a passion, and we're making it come to fruition.
Absolutely. We're all gifted. We're all gifted in some way. And we just have to go forward with that.
Yeah, and that's great advice for anybody. You could be in a 9-to-5 and apply that to your life.
Absolutely.
So let me know a little bit more about what it was like starting for you, because you said you went to school for music. What was your degree in?
Jazz, guitar, and math. I had math, and I'll explain why I had the math.
Yeah, very logical guy.
Yes. No, there's reasons which I'll explain. There's reasons for all
the quarter notes, adding up the quarter notes, is that it?
No, it's so. I'll explain the whole thing. When I started and doing magic, and my dad showed me my first trick, you said you wanted to know what the first trick was. It was funny how it was around the mentalism. It was still around that. He had a deck of cards shuffled. He took 5 cards out, think of one of these. He mixed them in the deck, and at the end, he found it. Now, as a kid, that blew me away, especially how he found it. But what I did with that later in the future was I took it and I kind of made it more me. But aside from that, when I saw that trick, it blew me away. And as I said, I started to create things on my own and try to come up with ways. I was successful with some, I was completely not successful with others. But as time went on, I started to see the different ways to go about learning this, to go about people and practice and doing all that. As I said, I always wanted to be that when I was a kid, when I saw it, because that feeling that I felt, I wanted to give to others. But as I was getting into it, a part of my life near the end of elementary school, I started getting made fun of about doing magic. And I wasn't mentally strong in that moment where I let that noise get to me.
Of course.
And then I quit and I stopped doing magic for 2 years. Now, rewind a bit. As I said, music was always a big part of my life too. So when it came to music in itself, I was taking guitar lessons as well, learning stuff by ear, and I was always with the guitar. So music and magic always as a kid with me. Now, when we're in high school, 2 years in, I didn't do any magic. I didn't tell anyone about it. I did it at home, not to tell people for fun, but always afraid to bring it up and start doing it for people because I didn't want to be made fun of again. Later in high school, I started saying, no, we got to do what I love. I can't let that noise dictate my future because I'm not living my life anymore. I'm living someone else's life. And at that point, you just have to go with it. And I didn't care. I said, I'm done. I'm not listening to anyone. Because around that time, too, it wasn't just people making fun of me. It was my group of friends at that moment. And the thing is with me is I was always cool and being friendly with everyone. So at the end of the day, like technically everyone was cool in that regard. But that group that I was hanging out with was not supportive of me. They were like, oh, you're annoying with the magic, blah, 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 blah. And me being, as I said, not so mentally strong at that point in my life, You listened. You listened to them. You believed them. I folded. And music and magic always were there with me, but magic always was that strong part of me. So it hurt me to quit because it meant so much. Because at the time when I was so in it, my mom was sick. We were in and out of hospitals. It was a horrible, horrible experience. And magic for me there was that structure, was that getaway, what helped me get through it. And turning my back on it for a couple years in high school was hard for me. I felt a part of me missing the whole time. So as I said, screw it, I'm just gonna go all in and I'm gonna do what I love. At that point, that group phased away. Because in life, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. Where you are, I have this like love-hate kind of ideology to the whole thing of you're always gonna get to where you wanna be. I think to an extent you have to choose, but the right people will be in your life if you do make the right decisions for you, and the wrong people will be out of your life, right? So to an extent, it's one of those, but whatever. That's a very good point, because a lot of the work that we do is to uplift people and help people on their journey, and a lot of that is just trusting your gut, and that's a huge part of it. So I did want to touch on that because it can be. It's a balance. Like people talk about nature versus nurture. No, it's both. So who you are and the decisions you make will affect who is around you and vice versa. Absolutely. Butterfly effect, a big thing that I believe in, that every decision we make has ultimately led us to where we are today. To an extent too, like I said before, that's why I have that love-hate relationship to the idea that you're always gonna get to where you're meant to be. I think if you don't make the right choices and surround yourself with the right people, it's gonna take longer, or you might not reach it in the time. Or you might not have the fortitude to get there. Exactly, so if I stayed surrounding myself with people that technically did not support me and did not believe in me, then I would have folded. But I think honestly at that point in high school where I just said screw it and I just went back into it heavy, like I literally just laser focused. I think at this point anybody can say whatever they want to me, and I'm not going to really be phased in that regard because I know what I want in life. And that's why when it happened, when I was working part-time and I decided to quit, and I said I was going to tell you, I was trying to explain to my mom and my dad that, hey, I want to pursue magic. Now, my dad was cool with it. My mom, when she heard that after Like, I would be not going to university if I did that. She's like, no, you have to have a degree.
I want you to tell me about your craziest party trick. How long have you been seriously doing this?
Since I started, and then obviously that break in between. But you mean like seriously as a career?
Yeah.
When I quit everything? I quit everything 2-3 years ago. It was my only source of income.
Wow.
Yeah, I was doing it on the side for years. As I said, I did free shows, I did free stuff, because to an extent, people have to know you.
Yes.
Right? In this industry and in sales in general is trust. If people cannot trust you that you are going to be the right person for them, why would they hire you? Why would they work with
hire you?
So, you know, you have to do that stuff. You have to do free stuff. Let people know who you are, see you, right? But then once people see you and see what you do, and then reactions speak for themselves.
And take note of that, kids. There's nothing wrong. Be humble. Sometimes you just have to get your foot in the door. I now at 28, I have my own event agency. I've worked with some great people in the city. I started volunteering. There's no other way to get your foot in the door, and there's no shame. There's no shame in that game.
It's true, and that comes from knowing a plan and having a plan. If you don't have a plan, you don't know where you want to go, you have nothing. And that's facts. You talk to anyone that started a business, you talk to anyone that ran a business, if there's no plan, you have nothing.
You have absolutely nothing.
You can have a dream. Like, if you don't have a plan, you just have a dream. That's really what it is.
It will always be a dream.
People might disagree with that and say, oh, yeah, but even if you don't have a plan, you don't know. Sure, you don't know, you learn, but eventually you get that plan. You have to have a plan to go somewhere, because if you don't have a plan, you're just doing one of these. And it's like, you know, might work, but I think if you know where you want to go, and you know who to market to, you know how to do that, you know what you are trying to get, you're going to go after. You know that saying, if you don't ask, you won't get? That's a big thing. And indirectly too, if you don't have that plan, you're not asking for anything, so how are you going to get it?
That's very, very true. And looking back at the career you've built for yourself so far, do you have anything that kind of sticks out? Any crazy experiences where you're like, did I really just read that? Any crazy experiences you want to share with us? Yeah,
in a corporate event, one that I did not expect it to happen. Somebody was thinking of a person, and you know, I told everybody in the show, think of someone that's alive, someone that's not here, but someone that's alive. And they thought of someone that passed. Now, in that moment, they thought I was a medium, right? Because I had a feeling the way they were, just the energy about it. I was like, this person's alive, correct? They said no. And I'm like, that's probably why I was feeling that. And it kind of changed the whole mood of everything. And it kind of, after the show, she hugged me, kissed me on the cheek, said, oh my God, I knew she was with me. And I stressed her, I'm not a medium. I'm not someone that's connecting you with the spirit. I don't want you to think that's not what it is. But yeah, that was one that...
that must have been pretty intense. Yeah, that must have been pretty intense. And you do a lot of, like, obviously you do corporate, you do events, but a big part of getting your name out there is doing like talking to people on the street.
Yeah, doing what I do on the street. Yes. So going on the street and just going out there, recording. Essentially, my plan was always to record something like that TV street magic style video, but in the new era. And my team, Maz and Sisto, Now or Never, they are incredible. Like, look at the videos. They speak for themselves. There's a reason they're shot that way. They have a vision that you can't describe. I didn't have to teach it or say anything. They just knew. And the very first time we filmed together, I was blown away. I'm like, okay, you know, I always knew Sisto was good with it because he has that vision there. But it was the first time I had been filming with Maz, and I was blown away. I was like, dude, holy moly, this is it. This is what I need. I want to do this. And yeah, that was, at that point, it was history. At that point, I'm like, yep, you know exactly what I want. Let's do it.
And that's the beauty of having a team. You can focus on your art, and they can figure out the social media engagement and the clicks and all that other stuff.
You think I do magic? Maz does magic with those edits. Maz knows.
Maz knows. I have to reach out to Maz. We're always looking for new people to work with when it comes to social media and all that good stuff, because it's changing every second. So obviously you have a team. How much input do you have on what goes on with your social media execution?
Oh, I'm in control of the whole social media execution. I don't have a team running that. That's all me in terms of the posting and everything. But in terms of the filming and everything, we work together.
That's beautiful.
It's not like, oh, Kevin, you're going to do this and that. No, we work together and we throw ideas around, and I love that they always have new ideas to bring to the table and thinking about stuff that I didn't even put attention to. So we're hitting elements from every angle, because you have me thinking about stuff, you have them thinking about stuff.
That's beautiful. This is mind blowing. Like no pun intended. I'm just so fascinated by how much really goes into it, because we see the videos, we see the clips, and we're like, oh, that's crazy, and then we move on with our life. So this is really, quite a beautiful art form, and it really does help you connect with people on the street. That's incredible. Thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for being on Box Power Sound.
Thank you. Now, before you wanted me to do something for you, personally to you.
Oh, yes.
Now, before I told you what I do, obviously, and you're like, oh my God. Now, you wanted to be a part of this. You wanted to do something. And I said to you, you know what, how about this? Go on a journey.
Yes.
Go back and think of the name of your first kiss. Now, because on social media, this is something that always happens. People comment saying, oh, it's paid. Oh, get them to write it down to show it, whatever. So before everything, and confirm with everyone, I didn't touch it. I got you to write it down, put it in an envelope. And I went
out of my way to hide it.
Yes, and you went across. You put it in an envelope. It's been in your pocket. I have not come near it.
I forgot about this.
I have not come near it, yes?
No.
Good.
He hasn't touched it.
That's our proof. So if I'm wrong, you can flaunt that around and everyone can see it. So think of the name of your first kiss for me, and imagine they're right here. Oh, that wasn't very good. Okay. Well, don't worry. You don't have to relive it. Just think of that person's name. Now, sincerely, if I can guess it, would that really, really blow you away?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, I want you to look at me right here. I want you to imagine having a mental conversation with me. Okay, so everything I say, anything I ask you, don't answer out loud, only in your head. Okay? Good?
Good.
You see you're answering out loud.
Sorry,
only in your
no.
head. Starts now. Yeah, good. My name's Kevin. Your name is? In your head. My name's Kevin. Your name is? That voice louder. Turn that voice up. There we go. Think of that first kiss. I want you to look at me right here. Imagine nothing around us, just right here. In your head, answer the question. What is the name of your first kiss? Answer in your head. Imagine just saying it to me. What is the name of your first kiss? Say it now. Dwayne.
That's so crazy. This is I'm never speechless. I am literally never speechless. This is psychotic. And he doesn't even spell his name like the normal way. I had to remember how to spell it. So I was worried that you would be like, what? What is that? Wow. I can't believe this. Can you read the future?
It's very bright.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. That's
not me
crazy.
reading the future, though. That's just me knowing your energy is good. Good energy. Good energy attracts good energy. Thank you.
You guys, it says Dwayne.